most important thing you can do today is to have a good time. Relax and enjoy yourself, okay? Because not everything we're going to do agrees with you, but it works great for me. I've been doing this for a long time, and the kicking techniques work great for me because of my strength, my flexibility, my balance, and also my psychological outlook. So what I want you to do is just understand the idea so you can kind of play with it. Make two fists. Just bend over, put the fist flat on the floor in front of you. Now if you can't reach, that's okay. Keep your legs straight. Just hang there for 10 seconds. Now walk it back to the heat. Now drag your hands, put the back of your hands on the floor in front of you. And relax, stay there, just relax your hand. What we're doing now is warming up those muscles. We're not putting a bad strain on them or a bad tension and so forth like this. We're just putting a little bit of tension on it. So number one, your heart rate speeds up. When your heart rate speeds up, it's pushing nice warm blood into that muscle. Self-relaxes. Grab your ankles, pull your head down just a little bit. Now what we're going to do very slowly now is just relax, take the legs a little bit out at a time, just a little bit, so the muscle relaxes as we're doing it. Keep your right leg exactly where it is, don't move it at all. The only leg you're going to move is your left. And as you scoot it out, you're just going to scoot forward like this. Scoot forward, a little bit of this. Scoot forward, a little bit at a time like this, okay? But we're going to take our time so the muscle gets tired. When I stretch, I think of the 3 T's. Very simple. The first T is temperature, getting that muscle warmed up real good. The second T is tension, putting tension on the muscle, which we're going to do real soon. And the third T, probably most important of all, is holding it there for a certain length of time. So the muscle gets tired, and when the muscle gets tired, it has to relax. Don't push it too much, we're going to do 10 of these. So if you're already out there, you got 8 more to go. It only hurts in your mind, just think. Pain really doesn't hurt, it's just a figment of your imagination. Except it kills you. Keep your back straight. Keep your back straight. What I'm doing now feels great because I'm just sitting here relaxing. My heart's going faster because there's a tension there. Automatically will do this, so I'm getting more blood in the muscle and it's warming up, plus also stretching ever so slightly. Again, out. This is the 6th one. The most important thing you can think about is taking your time. Legs apart. Same thing we're going to do, except we're not going to do it 10 times this time. We're going to do it 5 times, but we're going to hold it for 30 seconds. Because I kick with my forward leg, my front leg, and I work 3 kicks, a side kick, a roundhouse kick, and a hook kick. The most important stretch for me is the adductor stretch. Simply because I need to get the knee up real good and to work this move. Yeah.
I feel a little strain on my knees.
Okay, pull this toe back. Let me show you something right now. Stay right there. A lot of times when you're sitting out here with your legs apart, this is my leg, not your leg. Okay, now you have 3 sets of knees. You have a medium level knee right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Goes up. Goes up. 8, 9, and 10. Good. Scoot back one more time. And scoot back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stay there, stay there. Here's my part. We face opposite each other in this position here. This is just the first part. Just turn sides. Give me your hand. Your job is to hold me up. Nice and strong. From here. You'll hear 3 commands. Knee up, out, and the one that you won't hear very often is back. Okay? Very good strength and exercise for your obliques and your rectus femoris. That's the first part of it. I forgot to tell you that. The second part of it is you'll throw 15 very, very, very slow roundhouse kicks. Then after that, you'll throw 30 quick roundhouse kicks. All of this is without putting your foot down. He grabs hold of me nice and tight. The first command, knee up. I get my knee up in a high roundhouse kick position. Now the knee doesn't lower from here. Out, and I just hold it here, not touching anything. I just hold it for a couple seconds. And then back. Knee stays up if you notice. Out, and back. Then 15 slow roundhouse kicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then you throw 30 quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, and 1 for good measure. And down. Your turn. Don't touch anything. Make it heavy. Stay out there. Get the knee up, get the knee up. Out. Point the toes, striking with your insteps. And 10. Slow. Out. What you get for being so big? 11. Out. And 12. Out. 13. Out. So what happens now when he blocks is, that's my movement. That's what I want to create. It's like, yeah, how many times you ever slap box? You've been in a little boxing match where you go, bang! And that's the same type of thing I want you to think about. But now that first initial particular stance. Now, the thing of it is, for me to come from here to go, to come in here and kick, he might get out of the way or he might move to get out of the way, right? Or defend. What I want you to think about now is being sneaky and quick. Is being sneaky and quick. So what I'm going to simply do here, throw a kick right here. How come he didn't hit me? How come he didn't hit me? Because I moved. Why? Why did I move so I wouldn't get kicked? Because what did he do first? He moved at me first. If we're standing here, now we're kind of neutral right now. But the minute I go, ah, he says, well, here he comes, and he wants to get out of this, he wants to get out of the way to keep that safe distance between us. Whether it be a boom or whatever. So I have to find somehow to get sneaky with that distance. Take your time, find your stand here. So now watch what happens. I'm going to do the same thing you did, except I'm going to change it. All this very simply is here. Now you block this. Why do you put your hand down there? I get a shot at it anyway. Okay, good. Now you notice how he's up. That's all I ask for. From here now is very simply from this. That's all I want. Got in, didn't it? Because number one, watch what happens. We all have a problem. Every one of us, when we spar and we kick at each other, is getting from here to here to do the kicking. is the hardest part of the whole kick, because I want to show you something. Now, watch what happens. I'm just going to throw this kick right here. You block it. Block me. You can't. So it's that. You can't block that. So he says to himself, whoo. So what he's got to do is figure out that. So what do? I screw it up. Most of us are going to kick from that position. So when he slides up to kick at me, I'm just going to back out of the way because I see him move. Everybody sees him move before he kicks, right? You can't hide that. So why not just make it so evident that there's no sense in hiding? Newton's first law of motion. Sir Isaac Newton, you had him over here a long time ago. Most of you have read about him in school a little bit. He had about 3 laws of motion, 3 laws of movement. The first one is very important. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. And a body in motion tends to stay in motion. He's at rest. How much do you weigh? 11 stones? Okay, he weighs 11 stones. That means he's got all that weight to get from a dead stop to come at me, called inertia. So you come out. When he does, I just walk back. Because he's going, yeah, one of those things, right? So now put your hands up. Now I weigh probably a little bit more than you. I weigh 165 pounds, which is 14 stones, 165 pounds, which is what? I don't know. But anyway, you don't go like stones. But anyway, I'm going to do the same thing as you. Now you just back up when you see me kick. See, the main thing is now he's looking down. I got to hit. And that's all I ask for too. Keep your hands up now so you can block. Pretty soon you'll get close enough to score. But try to put yourself in a position that every time I touch with his hand, I can touch the same spot every time. Try to do that with your foot. Right there's the belt. Don't go below. So I'm right here, right on the belt. Moving around. Moving around. Which makes me feel good. Okay, that's the first part I want you to do. Just right from here, right from there, right from there. Okay? I can kick all day long, I'm never going to reach you. The main thing to do is now is to be sneaky. A front leg roundhouse kick to the body, believe me when I tell you, is not a powerful kick. It's not a powerful kick. It's like a boxing jab. A front leg roundhouse kick is a quick kick. Not strong, but quick. Unless you come here and you go, yeah, and then you switch. Then it becomes powerful. But it also becomes a lot slower. What I want you to think about is using this kick as a creation. So from here, you block this. So from here, I'm just here being quick. I'm just here being quick. I'm just here being quick. Just being quick. Not because if I throw it hard, flops it. Now what did I get out of it? Other than probably a sore foot. So be quick. Beep, beep, beep. Because after the beep, 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 comes the thump, thump, thump. This, I always thought, was not together. That's together. The reason they have to come together is number one, if he stands like that, he can bam, 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 bam. Stop. Now, kick. See, he has to step. He has to, because he's here, the center of gravity is down a bit, and it's got, he can't lean back, he can't lean forward, so he has to step. But now watch. From here, boom. I can't get any higher. Right? I can't get any higher than I'm here together from here. I can't step because we're already together. So I just kick. And that's it. You guys make it too hard. Watch. Boom, 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 beep. Bam, bam. Here. But
Look how close I am now. Then my knee comes up to kick low. See, that hand's gonna go down there, right? Because I've already thrown 14,000 over there. All of a sudden the knee just comes higher and beep, and down. So it looks like this. You're here, he blocks it. Darn. Darn. I stop. Boom, boom, wham. And it's effective. Boom, boom, wham. And now he's moving his head. Boom, boom. He's moving the head out of the way. Just for me. Darn. Boom, boom. Because what happens now, remember what I said? I try and get you to walk into it. What's he start to do? Walk into things. Because now, right? Then, you stop. And the head started to move for me. Darn. And then there. Because what happens is, slide up. It's a roundhouse. You see the head starting to go already. So all I do now is let my knee. The knee's done everything else up to then, right? Watch. Right? Step. Right? You stop. Hold on. Same exact thing. Let the knee do the work. Knee up, out, and the one that you won't hear very often. Real simple. The second part. The second part through 15. Very, 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 very slow roundhouse kicks. And then the third part's even worse, because you'll throw 30 very quick roundhouse kicks. All of this is without putting your foot down. Now, depending on your flexibility and your strength, is where you put the foot. Either to the belt level, stomach level, stomach level, chest level, chin, nose, forehead, or whatever. I am fairly flexible, so my foot's going to go right about his forehead. Makes me feel good to kick high and to hold it there forever and ever and ever. My partner gives me his hand. Your job is to hold me up. Arm is out straight. First command is knee up. Strong. Knee up. Now look at your knee. Make sure it stays there the whole time. From this position out, and I hold it here. And back. Keep the knee up the whole time. Out. And back. Out. And back. Then you'll throw 15 slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then you'll throw 30 fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. Back and down. Your turn. What I want you to consider now is very simply what boxers do. They dance. If I'm here, I'm going to throw a punch at you. The minute I start doing this, he sees that. But if I start doing this, you know, poof, kind of hard for him to defend that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw him a little roundhouse kick right here. Just a real simple little roundhouse kick. You block it. I had one of these blocked back in 1893. Don't worry about it, though. I visited him in a hospital before he died. Okay, now watch. Now what happens now is I do this, I'm moving here. He's ready to react. He's ready to react. You bet. You bet. in the head. So what I care about is what he did to block it. Again, now watch as he blocks it. Oh, he changes on me, which is okay. Which is okay. So now what I got to do is now his sneak. Didn't block that one, did you? So now, so I'll do it again. I get it in again. Wait. When you do that, you don't have to kick anymore. I just keep kicking right there. He just makes me really mad. But what I want to consider now is creative. So I'm here. Still get it. Now, see how this block is coming around here? What does a roundhouse kick do? Listen. Huh? It comes around. That's why they call it what they call it. So what happens now when I'm here and I throw this, so the next time I come in and I go boom, boom, and he changes by going back. So I say, what can I do to make it different? What I have to do is solidify one side. I'm saying, no matter what happens, he's got to think what's going on this side. So what can I do?
Go around the opposite side.
All I do is I go, hey, looky, boom, right there. See what you did? This comes over here and his leg goes, ah! What he is going to react to is not that. He reacts to that. That's what he blocks. Watch, I want to show you something. Now, don't worry about it. I want you to block this. Ready? You can't the foot is quicker than the eye. I'm traveling this far, he's going that way. But what does he have to wait to happen? For me to start. When I start, I'm there before his eyes hit. Whoa! Here he comes. Then his brain says, oh, you better move your hand. Well, right there, it's there. And he says, oh, okay, fine. And then it comes back. So what we have to do about is getting from here to here before he can react. And that's what I want you to think about this. A little step that I'm doing, very simply is this. He's waiting for me to move. He's waiting. He's waiting. He's waiting. He's waiting. And I got it again. Now, all what you got is this. You're moving here. Not slash. You're do this because he can hit you back. He's going to hit it. You're nice distance. I'm right here. Now, we come together. Now, we didn't make it. See, because watch. He's waiting for my whole body to come. But what's coming? Just the foot. Just the foot. Just the foot. So it's very simply that. Darn. 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 All I'm saying is, he's react. If he's thinking, right? And if he's thinking, and if he's thinking, darn. Then you go underneath, too. Because that has to go somewhere. And all you're doing is making it move. For you. Not for him, but for you. Tons and tons of combinations. I use 5. 5. But you got to figure out which one and when. This is what I want to do now. From here, boom. Getting your opponent to block. Boom. Then the double kick. Boom. Not boom, boom. But very simply, beep beep. You notice I didn't say boom boom, but I said beep beep. Because the beep beep, after a while, turns into a kaboomer. Because I get him to walk into it. See, watch. This is not hard. Not hard. Just there. A front leg roundhouse kick to the stomach, I think most of us realize, is not a strong kick, right? It's a point getter, and it happens to piss him off. Upset him a little bit, make him mad, right? So that's what it's for. You turn and you go, how you doing? Look at the hand. Okay, how you doing? So that's what I want. And I'll leave you, I'll be there. Good one. On the other side, you get him up somewhere, but you create. The main thing for him to think about is this, is that. Then, from that, I don't care if this comes up here, because what does a roundhouse kick do? Comes around. So he can put the hand up, I'm going to go around it. What does a hook kick do? It hooks. So this can be here, no problem. But as he does that, he takes that way. So you get him to walk into it. So this is the move. From here. And then, stop. See now, he's saying, what's he doing? Wait. And again, he comes around. That was the fake leg. And it comes around. Or now, on that side. The knee is the pivoting point. Watch. From here, step slide up, low kick, knee comes up, roundhouse. Same thing, boom, boom, low kick, pivoting is in the knee, not the hip. Okay? Because what happens now is from here, I'm not going to go, but I boom. That's what I want. Because they are. They'll put the block right here, but then they'll say, no, that's not enough. I want the head to go further away yet. Where this is enough to suffice, right? You ever watch boxers? Anybody here box? Anybody ever box? Come here. Come here. No. I get you in a corner. Your hands are up to protect, right? Now, if he would shut his eyes, he's perfectly defended now, because I go wham, 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 wham. He's got everything blocked. The trouble is, most of them have their eyes open. So when I go, he does that, bam, on that side. Or I go wham, bam, on that side. So what he does, he's perfectly protected and goes, I'm safer now. And that's why they talk to you like this. Because they want that superb safety. So when you go in, that's where he wants to be as far away from that as he can be, which is over here. Somebody forgot to tell him about that. Boom! You ever watch tonight? Watch it tonight with Bruno and Cotia. They'll get in the corner and they'll start going, wham, wham. See, just like that. If he just stand there and go, let me know when you're done. He's fine, but he'll go wham, wham. See, he'll start doing it. He'll stop and he'll go, oh, but look at the chin now. Wham. So think about that. Okay, now what we're going to do, watch. Very simply, is from here. Watch the step. Steps light up. That's all I want to do. Whoa, get that. See, I don't want to go, but I go, boom, and he goes to do it. That little thought is what I want. Boom. Slide up, and I go, hey, looky. From here now, on that side. So what I do is I get him to defend against the hook kick. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. On that side. Again, slow. What else can I? Oh, I'm not done with you yet. From here, slide up, just lift it. See, he'll do it. See, don't move. See, he still will. because it's like, oh God, it's gonna hurt. That little movement's all I want. Even if he doesn't move, what's he thinking about? That leg stuck out here. So he ceases to think what's happening over here. So what happens is, step, slide up, fold, knee up, boom, and in. Now if he blocks this, I just come underneath. From here, slide up, fold, yeah. Because watch, he's here, lean back. He's protected. Now is he? Plus you get that little floating rib going, look at me right here, go ahead and hit it. Because when you hit it, it goes, hard to fight when you can't breathe. Very difficult. So, from here, boom, boom, wham. Or, boom, boom, wham. Underneath. Okay? The knee. Bam, bam, boom. Pivot, knee up, boom. And down. Slide up, pivot. Knee up, boom. Back, down. Slide up, boom, pivot, side kick underneath. Okay? So a lot of kickboxers, full contact people, and point fighters now are training kickboxing or training boxing techniques because it helps them with movement. That's all, just with the movement. I've taken the same thing and started working it for my legs. Most of us say, okay, you come into the dojo, you dojang, and you say, okay, I'm here a couple minutes early. I'll practice some kicks. I'll throw 5,000 side kicks, 5,000 roundhouse kicks, 5,000 hook kicks. That's enough. I don't want to throw too many. Okay. There's a mirror right over there. Okay. I'm loose. Okay. That's one. You know, you threw that thing, you throw 3 or 4 and you might get something out of it. After the first 15 or 20, you could care less because you said, God, I'm throwing too many. What I want you to think about now is doing the same thing but sparring an imaginary opponent. Much like shadow boxing. Watch. Every time you lift that forward leg to kick, you're going to throw at least 2 kicks. I'm sparring with myself out here. I bow in, moving around. It's nice and relaxed. Nice and relaxed. Nice and relaxed. Nice and relaxed. And down. Nice and relaxed. But you're throwing combinations, not
just what is your definition of a black belt?
I would say this is a university degree. That's all it is. Once you've got this, you've got to go out into the city and work. This is the base that you build at the bottom of your house. And once you've built this base, you've got to build on top of it and start constructing a building around it. I think black belts are nice to get. It's like a goal to aim for, but it can mean everything and it can mean nothing. If you get a black belt in my system, I would say you're prepared. You're absolutely prepared, because we make people do what they would have to do in a real fight to get this. But in a lot of systems, you will be perhaps a black belt in karate, so that means you're good at doing karate in this arena, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be good outside. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be bad either. It really depends on the instructor, on the association, whether you've earned it, whether you've bought it. You know, to me it can mean everything, it can mean nothing. To me, I'm proud of the black belts that I've gained, but it really doesn't mean anything. I mean, commercially it's quite good, because if I'm talking to the uninitiated and I'm trying to get my views across, they want to know that Jeff Thompson's a 5th dan in karate. I know it doesn't mean anything, but to them it means everything, because if I'm not a 5th dan in karate, they're going to say, oh well, I'll talk to someone who's a 5th dan. So for me to get my views across, this becomes a beacon. and it attracts people. But when it attracts them to me, I will say, actually, that's not what it's about. That's what attracted you, but this is what it's about. And then I'll give them the real message, give them the real truth. But I think it's good in the early days to help you build up, and I think they're nice to have. But you know, outside the chip shop or outside the nightclub, when you've got some guy with a face like 10 boxers, he won't give a damn whether you're a 4th dan or a 5th dan, or even whether you're desperate dan.
Even if you bring your licence out.
Even if you bring your licence, that might throw it. It has been done, hasn't it? But it won't mean nothing to him. In fact, to him, it's like conquest. If you're a 5th dan and he beats you, he thinks he's a 6th dan. So it can mean everything and it can mean nothing. It means, if it means, I'd say, if that means too much to you, then you're not there. You know, if that's everything to you, you know, and if you're going from association to association, hunting for higher grades, you're on a sugar pedestal, and when the rain comes down, it's going to melt underneath you.
Yes, I mean, I suppose I've been there, Jeff, myself, but do you feel that some people actually start martial arts and use the martial arts as a shield to hide behind?
It's definitely a shield that people hide behind. And that's okay, because I think, like you said, we've all done that. It's part of growing. But you know, you shouldn't be hiding. You shouldn't be still hiding when you're a 5th or a 6th dan.
Yeah, what does a 5th or a 6th dan mean to you, though? You know?
To me, at 5th or 6th dan, you know, it should be an internal fight. It should be an internal growth. You know, like the early dans, like 1st and 2nd dan, is really about being physical, learning to work your body, and above that, you know, it should be about controlling your habits, like your diet, what you eat, what you drink, how you talk to people, how you present yourself, being a respectful and humble person. And 4th and 5th dan onwards, it should be starting to go into the spiritual side of it. You should be starting to look at the way you controlling the way you think, controlling how I think about people, you know, how I judge people, how I talk to people, how I act with people, how I live my life. I should be looking at that highest plane. By the time you get to that level, you should have transcended from physical to psychological to spiritual. Once you get to 4th and 5th dan, you should be looking at the connection between psychological and spiritual, and you should be looking at leading a better life, and trying to serve, trying to be a better person. Now, this doesn't mean that you become a monk and live in a cave somewhere, but it does mean that you should start looking at the way you live your life. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be ambitious. Ambition's okay. Just don't make material things your God. The important things are people, and what you can do for people, and how you can help people. And that starts with helping yourself, forgiving yourself, being kind to yourself, then to the people in the immediate vicinity, like your family, and then to the people along the outside. Because you get a lot of people who will do anything for the best mate, but they won't do anything for their wife and kids. Yes. So that isn't good. You know, they say Joe Bloggs is the best guy down the pub. He's a funny bloke. He'd do anything for you, but his wife hates him and his kids can't stand him. Because when he goes home, he doesn't do nothing for them and he's cruel. So it's got to start with yourself. Inside, be kind to yourself. The things you've done wrong in your life, forgive yourself. Learn to understand yourself, learn to control yourself, and start mastering everything on a physical, psychological, spiritual level, and then start passing that information on to other people and trying to give love and kindness and compassion to the people around you. And definitely transcending violence. But not transcending violence until you understand it. You can't transcend something you haven't mastered. Here, catching hold and flattening him out. As he's flattened out, you've got your hand fitted through here, okay? So come through, latch your own hand, bring your right leg out here, but keep the elbow into his head so it's nice and tight, so that he can't sit through, okay? So you've grabbed your own hand, sitting right across him so you're nice and tight, and then just gradually coming through and sitting back. And as soon as you're back, thighs in dead tight, here. And then change arms, figure 4, pull out with the arm bar, okay? So, if you imagine we take it from, so just stand up for a second, Matt. If we take it from a snatch, so pull him down, come behind him, okay? So straight behind him. Hooking in here, and here, hooking onto the arm, and flattening him out. And from here, coming through, and keeping it really tight, everything dead tight. You come through, keep this stretch right back so don't sit up. If you sit up, so just latch it, Matt, that's what you're going to get, in case you lose it. So pull back, comes from here, This leg's got to be tight. What I'll try and do with this leg is constrict his breathing by putting it over his nose and mouth. What he'll try and do from there is he'll latch onto his gi and he'll try and push that leg back to escape. Okay, so what I've got to do is I've got to make sure that that leg is locked inwards. If he's really strong, we'll hook it over. Keep him leaning back, change arms, come across and see the forearm comes into there, figure 4, pull out, arm bar, pull straight down, stack him over, run behind, then hook in straight away. My weight is right on his tail here, keeping it back all the time. Hooking into there and hooking in, flattening your thighs, here, keep that arm through, hook, and then nice and tight. Okay, have a go at that.
300 fights, Jeff, in the street. You've definitely gone the long way about finding this answer. Do you find that the harder the lesson, the better it's been taught to yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. And to clear up one thing as well, 300 fights might sound a lot to people, and I'm aware that people think that's rubbish, but when I worked on the door in Buster's nightclub, I was the least experienced doorman there. The people I worked with were far more experienced than me, and they had a lot more fights than me. I'm not proud of the fact that I had so many fights, but I was a polite person working on a very rough door, and I had people queuing up to fight me, and a fight a week was the norm, and I worked there for 4 years. Sometimes I'd have 2 fights in a night. And 300 fights doesn't sound nothing to me because I was working with people who had 500 and 600 fights plus. To a guy that maybe have only had 2 fights in his lifetime, it sounds incredible, and it also sounds a lie. But I mean, I can deal with that because for me the truth's enough. And when people say it sounds like you're exaggerating, I find it really funny because I'm thinking, how would they deal with John Anderson? How would they deal with Pete Taylor? How would they deal with No Neck Maynard, Jabba James?
These are all the real people.
These are people that taught me. They were my senpais. They were more experienced than me. The reason they're not here talking to you now is because I can articulate it. I've put it into a format where I can teach it, and I teach it so I can help people. I believe I was in them fights. Most of the fights I got into were because of insecurity. I was bullied as a child, and everybody that I never hit anyone that didn't need to be hit, but I did go over the top. You know, it didn't take much for me to go, and everybody I hit was pounding that bully at school into the ground. And it was my ex-wife who's a really good person now, but you know, I kind of let her bully me as well. So everybody I fought became a manifestation of my wife at the time, became a manifestation of my school bully, became a manifestation of my bullying life. And it was gross insecurity that made me fight. So I did get into a lot of fights, and I believe it was right that I got into them, so that I can come to you and to the people out there and say, actually, I've been in over 300 fights, and I know it's wrong. So don't go that way. It's the wrong way. Rather one person go the wrong way and guide another million so they don't go the wrong way. You know what I mean? If one person can touch the stove and say, don't touch Alex Hart, then he can save maybe 1,000 people doing it. And lots of people write to me and ring me and say, I've got this problem, Jeff, what do you think? And I'll say, violence isn't the right route. If you've got no other alternative, if you can't avoid, you can't escape, you can't use dissuasion, you can't loophole, you can't posture, then maybe you should have a fight and deal with it and then get it out of your life. But if you've got any alternative other than fighting, then you should do it. Now, if I hadn't had 300 fights, you wouldn't be listening to me, because you'd be saying, well, what does Jeff know about fighting? Yeah, don't know fighting.
Experience is the best teacher, isn't it?
Of course it is, and all the young lads out there who are thinking, should I be fighting, should I be testing myself? I say to them, no, you shouldn't. You should avoid situations. And when people say, it's a strong man that walks away, I never understood that, but now I understand it. Because my practice now, my ippon now, is to let somebody off. My ippon is not to knock them out, it's to forgive them. My ippon is to beat them with guile as opposed to force. So my ippon is no longer knocking them out, because that's easy. When you're doing it every night of the week, it's easy. I could talk to you in a conversation, walk over and deal with the situation, knock a man out, stamp on his head, and come back to you and not lose my place in the conversation. That is so normal. It's like laying bricks to me. It's like a plumber's wrench, and that's really bad. But the fact that I've come through it and I've seen the error of it is great, because now I can say to people, don't go that way. And if they respect me and they look up to me, I'm not saying they do, but if they do, and I can influence them even that much, if I could leave that message with one person, then my life's been worthwhile.
Is I'll feint a knee to the stomach, so I'll come here. So I'll just feint and pull him down. Once it's here, straight behind. This time we're going to hook in, squash him over, here. And from here, I'm going to come underneath. So let me go for the face rather than that. Come from here, this way. Face bar, sorry Matt. Okay, what I want to do from the face bar, come under the nose, push it across, come for the choke. Now if he rolls over, I get my control here, okay? So, do it from the face this time, here. Knee, pull that back, and straight behind. Hook in, push down. Once you're in this position, it should be over. His defence here is going to be to escape this leg, this way. So what I'll do, pull over that, is I'll hook my legs. So if you just come behind, have a look at my legs. What I'm also doing as well is I'm putting my thighs right into him. So come around, look at the face again. So from here now, I'm pushing straight into here. I'm pushing all his breakfast up through his diaphragm, make it really uncomfortable. And I'm going to come from here, and crush. So that comes to there, and just crush down. You want to change it, here, choke. Okay?
Recently you took a trip to America and you was invited to teach on a seminar alongside of Chuck Norris, Richard Norton, Egan Machado and Benedict. And meeting Benny seemed to be a climax of a lot of things that was happening to you at that time. How did you find Benny as an individual?
Well, first of all, the trip was, what a lot of people don't realise is that I've been hanging around the British and international scene for quite a while, and the invite wasn't just an invite to teach in America, it was an invite onto the world stage, because you're teaching with some of the best people in the world, and it was quite a daunting prospect for me. I'm ashamed to say that I've not really followed Benny's career, and I didn't really go over there to be impressed by Benny. I really wanted to meet the Machados and the Gracies and train with them. They were what I was really going for, and also the chance to teach for Chuck Norris and Richard Norton, who I highly respect. So I didn't really go there to be impressed by Benny, because I've never followed the kickboxing scene, and it wasn't a great interest of mine. But when I did meet him, it had a profound effect on me, because this guy's, when we come back, we were sitting in the cinema watching this guy in the films. You know, he's a world-class star. He's a world-class martial artist. And when I seen him walking across the hall, it took him about half an hour to get to the toilet, because every time he walked 5 yards, somebody stopped him. And I watched him and I studied him. And this guy's at the top of the tree. You know, in that world, he's king. And yet he had time for every single person. He took as long as they wanted. He stayed with them as long as he wanted. He was very tactile, very personal with them, and you could see a lot of love coming from him. He was very, very genuine. You could see that, you know, he was just a totally real person, and he inspired me greatly, and his wife as well. His wife is the great-granddaughter of Geronimo, and she's a very spiritual person, and they both went out of the way to make me feel welcome. We went out for a meal with them and stuff like that, and they made me feel special, but they also made everybody else feel special. You know, from the young kid with the yellow belt on to like the 6th and 7th dance, he treated everybody the same. And I think, you know, I've always thought that the best way to judge a person's character is to watch the way he treats somebody who's of no profit to him. And he treated everybody exactly the same. He treated everybody regally. He didn't treat them good because they were a face or a name, or because I might be able to get something from this guy. He treated them all as though they were everything to him. And that's the most impressive thing you'll ever see. And Higan Machado was the same. Higan Machado sat for nearly an hour with his arm around my chair like this, around my back, talking to me like we were all friends.
He's a big guy, isn't he, Higan, as well?
Big man, very gentle. And, you know, nothing was too much. Like with Neil Adams, you see Neil, one of the greatest fighters on the planet. Nothing is too much. And he doesn't know you from Adam. You know, you can be coming here, you can be a white belt, you can be a 10th dan, he'll treat you the same. And that's a great sign of strong character. And when you touch people like that, it makes you want to be the same. And I've always felt like that, but when you touch it, it makes you want to do it more. And then that's why you look at people like Rick Young, who is a tremendously humble person. And then you go see the people who he touches and who he trains with, and you know why. Because when you touch people like that, it makes you want to be like that. But it works the other way as well. You touch bad people, you train with bad people, you're in a bad association. If you're in an association, to all the people out there now, if you're in an association where they sit around the table slagging everybody off, move on, because it'll pull you down. If you touch bad things, it makes you feel bad. It makes you want to be bad. If you touch good things, it makes you want to be good. And it empowers you. And I know where I feel good. I feel at my best when I feel empowered and happy and want to help people. I don't feel good around negative people, so I avoid them like the plague, because their consciousness is too low, and it will drag you down. It's infectious. So I touch people like Neil Adams, people like Rick Young, people like Peter Consterdine, people like Benny, people like Higgin, the Graces, people like yourself, people that are going to empower me, not people that are going to pull me down. And I've got no qualms about saying to people, if they pull me down, I've got no qualms about ringing them and saying, don't ring me again.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me again, because I don't want to talk to you if that's how you're going to be. Because in this life we've got a choice. We can be happy or we can be miserable. And part of that choice is who you talk to. If people make you miserable, why talk to them? You know, so if it's someone that means something to you, somebody that you feel good about, then I'd normally say to them, I don't want to talk like this. I value friendship, but I don't want to be negative, and hope that they'll come through. And if they don't, you have to move on. But hopefully at some time, their consciousness will grow and they'll come back to you again. But I found, you know, don't cast your pearls before swine, because if you do, it's just throwing energy down the drain. And energy is currency. It's just like throwing money down the drain.
It's more valuable, isn't it?
Absolutely, much more valuable. And these people in America, you know, it wasn't just them, to be honest. You know, the whole association. It was an incredible association, and it's because Chuck Norris is a very humble person. If you go to Chuck Norris's ranch, he'll make you a cup of tea and he'll look after you. And he's a very humble person. And everybody in the association is the same. I've never felt so much love from people in my whole life. And I know that sounds cheesy, but it really is. It's like that. And I know from talking to Rick at length about when he trained with the Gracies and the Machados, he says they're the same. They just can't do enough for you. And you're standing there thinking, this guy's treating me like a king, and he's one of the greatest fighting legends on the planet. And it's hard to get your head around that, because we're so used to people talking to you because there's some profit in you.
Yes.
So I think that's good, and it's what I've always felt and always believed is right. And that kind of, it didn't tell me anything new, it just confirmed what I always believed.
Coming through for the armbar, kicking the comes home. He made a mistake and he sits into it. So we link, it's not that way, Tom, sorry. You just link your arms tight. Once you get to it, it's really difficult to get out. So what we're going to do is change arms, come through, grab his belt or his trousers, whichever you can grab. Pull this over here and sit through to here. And I'm going to squeeze in to stop him breathing again. And what I'm going to do is let him struggle a little bit, and just base on top of him until he tires himself. Then I'll let him roll me over. As he rolls, I'll continue rolling, come out the other way, so his arms further out. Each time you roll him over, he's going to be tighter. He's going to get tired, more and more tired. Okay, so just once again. Come to here. This has got to be really tight. This arm's got to be over the top, onto his head, here. See, I'm sitting through, keeping it tight. Keep this elbow into his head. Coming to here. That's nice and tight straight away. If I make a mistake and sit up, and he grabs it, swap arms, keeping these thighs tight, grabbing his belt, pulling him in, and coming to here. Now you just let him feel like he's escaping. There's a nice pin there. If he was to push back that way, bridge, I'll just come into the mount. Okay? But if he pushes back, I'll just go straight into the mount. But if not, I'll just come over to here, push my head into here. Same again. Alright? So you tire him, let him think he's escaping, and then when he thinks he's escaping,
So when he rolls over, just go with him. Okay, have a go at that. Yeah, I wouldn't say that I've found God. God's always been in my life. It's not, you know, people are saying, oh, Jeff's found God, but he's always been in my life. It's just that I always had a problem with some of the teachings of religion and could never quite define God. So although he's always there, I kind of lost my way with practicing Christianity a little bit. And then because of things that have happened to me over the last few years and because of going through so much violence, which really did sicken me and really made me go inside and question myself, I re-found God, and I found my own definition to him. And you know, so I just find myself, when I'm going on courses now, I find myself having to pass that on and tell people, because it's always risky, because people see me as a fighter, and then all of a sudden I'm talking about spirituality and God. So it's always risky, and you're thinking, what will people think? But I think you have to be brave enough to go with your heart and talk the truth. And me and Sharon spoke about this a lot, and I said, I have to be honest and tell people what I think. I think violence is wrong. Sometimes you have to do it, but what I do now is I teach avoidance, escape, dissuasion, loopholing, posturing. I teach them lots of alternatives to punching people in the eye. I also teach them that violence in society is displaced, it's not personal. And if you don't take it personal, then you don't have to get involved in it, you can walk away. People get pulled into situations by their ego. Most people, I'd say 95% of them don't want to fight, so 95% of them you can walk away from. If you're strong enough to control your ego, you can do that. And like I said before, part of growing in the martial arts and getting to higher levels of grades is learning to understand yourself and learning to control your ego and your negative emotions. So my icon now is to walk away. And if that's my icon, I want to teach that to other people. I only teach people what my truth is. Now that might not be consistent with what I've said in the past, but I don't think you need to be consistent with what you said in the past. You need to be consistent with the truth. And the truth changes the more knowledge you get. So to me now, it is about God, and it's about, and God is love, and it's about being a better person. And I want to teach that through the martial arts. Initially, a few people thought I'd become a spanner, you know, a cheesy Christian, like I'd lost it, yeah. But I don't mind that. I don't mind the ridicule, because people said that when I started talking about preemptive strike and reality and cross training. They said, you know, who's this guy? Who do you think is, you know, he's a spanner? But now everybody's doing it. And I think if I've got any influence at all, I want to influence people towards being better people, to reach like a God consciousness and helping other people. Like you said, like in America, you know, the martial arts are all one, they're helping each other. That's what we should be doing here. We shouldn't be arguing about, you know, who's got the rights to teach this and who's got the rights to teach that, and all this insecurity stuff. We're not insecure green belts, you know, we're, you know, the people at the top, we should be guiding the people below, and we should be helping people and bringing it all together, not quarrelling and fighting. That's just like school kids, you know. So we've got to bring people together and unite them. And the cross training is one way of doing that. And the message that I'm getting across is, you know, is from God. I feel like it's channeled through me and through lots of other people, not me being special, you know, from God. And I think the reason I've been chosen perhaps as a messenger, one of millions of messengers, by the way, I don't want to sound like I'm being special. I think the reason I've been chosen is because I have done it all wrong, and now I'm doing it right. And it's like saying, you'd be a great guy to pass this message on, because you have done it wrong, and you can say to people, yeah, I've done it wrong, and I've done it right, and this is how it feels when you do it right, so do it right, try and do it right. If I've got a young guy out there who's a young first dan, and he's thinking about going and having a fight to prove what he's got, and he likes what I write, and I say, don't do that, because he's not right, then hopefully he'll listen to me and think, yeah, if Jeff Thompson thinks he's not right, then that's good. And it's a good message to pass on. So I'm teaching people avoidance strategies. That's my main teaching now. Fence work and avoidance at nearly all costs. And if you can't avoid it, then I'll still teach preemptiveness. I still teach attacking first. I think you know, we're like so I think like martial artists are almost like an immune system, you know, in the body. Sometimes you have to destroy cancerous cells to protect the whole. Yeah. And whilst that's not nice, you know, killing one cell might protect millions and millions of cells. So, although you might not have done much for that one cell, you have protected millions of other cells. So sometimes there is a need for violence, and that's the truth. And people don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear about preemptiveness. People don't want to hear about God. But I'll tell it as it is. It's the truth. It's what I believe. And if you can't be honest and teach what you believe, then you're not worth much. I shouldn't be in this position.